Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to this stream of Hearts of Iron 4, where we are playing Kaiserreich as Australasia. In the previous stream, we thundered out of the Australasian homeland. We have retaken, or taken, much of Indonesia, and the reconquest is continuing as well. I have been thinking a little bit between the stream about how exactly I want to pursue this war going forwards, and I strongly suspect we are going to need to research mechanized, because I just don't think we're going to have the manpower to really do much without mechanized, especially because we're effectively going to be up against India and China at the same time. Because as soon as we attack India and we get a border with both of these sides, we're going to be fighting both of them. And doing that with just infantry, with a lot of artillery, yeah, it'll allow us to wear them down, but we don't want to kill them all. Here's the thing, because we want India to be in a relatively strong situation so that Bharatiya can take over, and then we can use the Indian manpower for Bharatiya. So even though we want to continue mass-producing guns and stuff to lend-lease those out to the CSA and to the Indians, I think we want to have like a very strong core contingent of troops, and those are probably going to have to be mechanized with artillery, possibly motorized artillery. How much motorized do we have? Okay, we have a deficit of motorized and support. Great. Alright, let's go and sort that out first of all. And then probably also some medium tanks, so we can get some breakthroughs where necessary. So let's drop you back down to a 5. Let's get you doing 10. Let's get you doing 10. Yeah, that should be good. And then we need a tiny bit more aluminium, which can certainly be arranged. Okay. Because it does occur to me, we have lots of rubber, lots of oil, and we'll probably have a decent amount of tungsten and chromium, particularly once we've taken this island. The other thing I wanted to double check is what is required for modern tanks. It is chromium. Okay, so I think we're going to ignore the medium tanks. We're just going to go straight for moderns. So we'll probably go down the heavy line simply because there's going to be less technologies. There's 2 here to the 4 that we'd need to do this way. And then we're on to the modern tanks. So I think that's what we're going to do. So modern tanks, mechanized with motorized artillery. That's going to be our breakthrough units. Back, haven't left the chat since the earlier stream. Well, that's dedication right there. I like it. Do we want to do some more extraction campaigns? I think that's a rather resounding... well, duh. Okay, onwards. In fact, how much manpower do you have? None. Nada. 0. Zilch. And you've only got 7 divisions. Okay, so German Southeast Asia will probably fall relatively easily. It's just a question of whether we can hold it once we have it. And my guess there is probably. So how long do we need to do technologies for? I don't think I'm going to bother with the newer naval bombers. I think we'll just stick with the older ones for now. Okay, so that's another cruiser, which we want to have in your own task force. We want you to be escort. Nope, not escort. What's it called? Recon. That's the one. With the symbol for recon, which is that. And we want you functioning like so. Okay. Ah, one other thing. We want all of you to be do not engage. Medium repair, no split. Cool. Going to do a lot of naval invasion, so you might want to consider researching amphibious tanks. That is true. Either amphibious tanks or amphibious mechanized. Probably amphibious mechanized, actually. Because then I can do the amphibious mechanized together with the artillery in the completely lopsided format I have. Although actually mechanized Well, actually, no. Mechanized will have organization. Tanks won't. Yes, we definitely want mechanized and artillery. And actually, that's another good question. Can I train any more Marines? No. Not yet. I noticed that the American construction queue is god-awful. Do you want to see how bad the AI's construction is? Because it's bad. So one of the things I noticed when I was looking at the CSA, trying to work out why they kept on blockading their own coasts, I realized that they have 9,000 convoys. And the reason for that is they were refusing to build ships. And they're still doing it. So I cancelled all of their construction orders. And they've just gone and switched them back to convoys. And in fact, they still haven't allocated them all. So they're still building convoys. They're doing strategic bomber 1s, tactical bomber 1s, mechanized 1s, heavy tank 1s. It's just like, what are you doing, AI? I mean, you do only have 4 research slots, and you are a little backward compared to me, for example. They have decent ships. They could build those up. They do have mechanized 2, which they could be building. They have fighter 2s. Actually, they're still researching the aircraft, fair enough. And then the other one that was just like, what are you doing? Was Britain. Yeah, the UK is going to fall, and this is why. So you know that Britain was always going to be up against it against Germany because of their navy? They are at least building ships. I'm not sure it really does them any good, considering they're building pre-Welsh Creek submarines, Welsh Creek destroyers, pre-Welsh Creek cruisers. You have improved shipping. I checked. I thought, oh, maybe the AI wasn't given the newer models. Nope, they are just building pre-Welsh Creeks, because why not? So there's no bloody wonder Germany was able to invade. Even though they were outnumbered at sea, if they had modern ships, they could still probably have at least done some damage. And then, yeah, strategic bomber 1, tactical bomber 1, naval bomber 1, close air support 1, heavy tank 1. Oh. I remember now why I rant about the AI in this game. It really is dreadful. It's best to just not look at that. In fact, this game would probably be easiest if you play as the United States. Not because you then have access to the huge American manpower, it's because then you have access to silly amounts of industry and you can just lease that equipment to the AI who can then just spam units. But at least those units will then be spammed out with decent gear. Huzzah! Shizzle! Thank you very much for the Twitch Prime resub. 3 months now, that's awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very much appreciated. That's a fight we're winning easily. That's because it's just convoys. Fair enough. Alright, let me just double check where we have our aircraft. They've actually got a fair number of fighters here. Why? I mean, it's something I can fight back against. We'll go with Mexican manpower here. Let's get another wing as well. Oops.
Ready to serve, my lord.
Whoa, Prussian Prince, thank you very much for the host. Welcome to Prussian Prince's viewers. Hello, hello, hello. We are playing as Syndicalist Australasia in Kaiserreich, currently trying to fight back against pretty much the entire world. This is a look at who we are at war with and who we are allied with. It's just me. I am the last of the good guys, although the CSA is on the verge, on the cusp of winning their civil war, then hopefully we can bring them in and have some good times rolling. One that drives me nuts is the AI will invent jets and start building them, but never stops building the piston aircraft. So you get fighter 3s, jet 2s, and heavy fighter 3s. So only a third of their fighters are actually jets. Dole! Paraguayan exile leader office service. Well, hello. Oh, yes, that was the other thing I wanted to do. Is I think that this guy is actually going to be far better suited to being the Marine commander than this guy is. Although he does have an attack of 6, he has an attack of 5, and he's already a commando.
What are your orders, sir?
So we're going to switch those two around.
Where's next, sir?
And you are going to be commanded by... Actually, Lutic doesn't even necessarily need to be the commander here. This could be... Israel, who's actually an artillery officer, infantry officer. Whoa, he's going to level up super fast, especially with this army. Are you the Paraguayan guy that we just got? I think you must be. Interesting. Then the other thing I wanted to do was bring Field Marshal Frank Berryman to be the Special Forces. Well, no. I think you're still better off being in command of the larger army. Yeah, that's fine. There it is. Wilhelm III has announced that the cowardly British nation could no longer withstand the pressure from the overwhelming presence of German forces. Britain's now German, giving Germany a huge number of shipyards. Although thankfully Britain didn't have very many factories. Or at least they didn't at the time. I think they have a lot of space to build factories, but they don't actually have very many factories. Because when we looked at their construction output, it was terrible. Because when the Union of Britain is defeated and the UK takes over, a bunch of the factories are just deleted.
Where to, boss?
Can we pushed out from here yet? No, but I think we probably can. Yeah. Guessing we're stopped here because of attrition. Okay, so that must mean that we probably need Hollandia to be upgraded. Let's make you a level 4 and ensure that that gets built. England doesn't get off easy this time around. Conquered twice in the span of a couple of years. Yeah, they've not had a good time of it. That's definitely for sure.
Where's next, sir?
So when do you get into position? 10 more days. In fact, the Marines are still on the way over. Half tempted to just train them. A couple of them are rather underskilled. Meanwhile, the navies continue to crush these guys. That's good. Oh, we're about to sink a carrier. Oh, it got away. Hopefully we chase him down and sink him. They'll have to plan their exit strategy out of the Reichspakt, some sort of Brexit. Ha 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 ha. Oh, that hurts. Oh, we did sink it. Okay, good. And a bunch of destroyers. Cool. So that is the aircraft upgraded. So now I do desperately want to start researching mechanized. So we can start actually churning those out. And we will also need to start actually building the upgraded aircraft. Kangaroos. And soon enough we'll get the Bristol Brigade, so then we can start looking towards getting modern armour.
to, boss?
You guys should stay here.
Where to, boss?
Just take that out, please. Excuse me, I'm sneezing. That's a Kaiserreich problem. The cap on factories in the States has a minus 50% penalty if it's not a core of the owner. In vanilla, if you pop it through the peace conference in the States, it's never actually non-core, but in Kaiserreich you conquer and then release. So it's controlled by the conqueror for a few hours and it immediately deletes 50% of the factories in the state. I thought that was done on purpose to basically represent all of the factories being abandoned by the British workers. Central American Confederation joined the Entente. That's just more territories for us to take around Mexico. And in fact, we may well want to position some troops in America to go and fight against Mexico when that time comes. Vegas has finally fallen. Oh, and San Diego fell. How'd they do that? Oh, they must have gone through here, then lost it again. How are they doing? 61% towards capitulation. They are getting there, slowly but surely. Inching their way forwards. France called in Central American states. I thought France was dead. Whoa, France is coming back. Interesting. Two-thirds of the CSA army will disappear when the Civil War ends. You might want to give them a year or so to rebuild. Yeah, that's the intention. I think I'll again choose a focus and urge them to go down that focus. And then once they get it, we'll throw them into the fight. I mean, the downside... the unfortunate thing is, I think the Civil War is supposed to usually end in like 43. And this has been a long, grueling, grinding Civil War. And they haven't even started their focus tree. Like, two-thirds of it are just untouched, because they couldn't do anything with it. And Taunt continues to grow. Should probably double-check the fighting fleet. Send the ships home for repairs if they need them. Who needed it, that's for sure. And then the escort fleet is now definitely getting quite a lot stronger. There's a lot of level 5 destroyers here now. Good. Will I take a New Caledonia? Not yet. I was preparing a naval invasion to do it, and in fact that invasion is now ready. So I would say, go! Russia seems to be losing an awful lot of convoys to us. I know we've been fighting the Russians fairly heavily out here. I wonder how many Russians we've killed. Russian Empire, 1 million. I've killed 436,000 Russians. Russia's actually been really active in our sphere, in our theatre. Hey, Fluffy. CSA is going to have to deal with Canada on both flanks. That won't be easy. Yeah, I know. That's why I was thinking that I should probably try to send them units to help in Mexico. So maybe once these guys have finished their job, we'll send them over.
Where's next, sir? What are your orders, sir?
Just to take that. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Looks like enemy defences are starting to stiffen up a bit. No air bases over here. We do have aircraft active, but they are flying a really long way. How's the supply situation? It's pretty bad. We are about to finish another level of shipyards, though. Hey, Linus.
What are your orders, sir?
If you really want to manipulate the CSA to be semi-competent, delete their militia divisions and then delete the template. Without the template, they'll build infantry instead and be about twice as effective. Interesting. That is the kind of manipulation I'll be fairly happy to do. Hawaii belongs to the German East Asia. That's why there's a big splotch around. Oh no, it's Commonwealth, sorry. There's a big splotch around here where I can't send shipping because they were really good at intercepting it. A bunch of Dutch convoys sunk. And a bunch of Irish ones too, apparently. Looks like you're struggling here again.
All right, sir.
We land? We landed.
Where's next, sir?
And then
Where to,
you...
boss?
Didn't mean that. I meant that. We're going to be responsible for holding onto this. And you lot and you. New naval assault from there, going here.
All right, sir. What are your orders, sir?
In fact, screw it. The garrison units
Alright,
can
sir.
do that when they arrive. And that's probably, yeah, just used up a bunch of my command power. We should be generating it pretty quickly now, though. And we have the support 3s. Good. So this was going to be A20 Kings. And I don't know what the other thing was. I know what it should be though. Field hospitals. And that is true. We should now have a surplus of chromium. And we do. And in fact, we have a surplus of steel. Well, ain't that a nice thing to have? Although that might be because we have a bunch of ships currently being repaired. Actually, no. Huh. Must have got another supply of steel somewhere. I'll keep one. I want to get the regular mechanized before I do the amphibious mechs. I'm fairly happy with my marines at the moment because I'm doing fairly strategic attacks rather than just, we need this, Leroy! But I do want them mechanized because I want to start building them and start building up production efficiency because it's going to take a while at this stage. I also feel like we have enough oil. We are completely oil independent. We're low on steel again. I knew we would fall low on steel again. Let's just get 2 more. Okay, that
Where's
attack
next,
up
sir?
here is clearly not working, so please stop.
sir.
You are still taking a lot of attrition. Probably over here. None of the supply routes are blocked. Although what I might do is start building a second naval base here on the southwest coast. Let's do 2 there. No, not there. 2 here. There we are. That should give us a little bit more. Can't resist the massive silence when I play single player, and always show massive respect to people who can resist. Well, thank you. I mean, it's part of the job talking around it. But my strategy for that is it's all stream of consciousness, so whatever decisions I'm thinking about and making, I just vocalize and talk about. Although there is a lot of, this should go over here, this should go over there. I'm aware of that. I should probably do less of it. But that's also how I think. So you get the good with the bad. The analysis with the, let's move over here. One thing that might be possible around here is to get a monopoly on rubber, which should weaken the enemy air forces and motorized mechanized. Yep. That is one of the reasons why I wanted to take out this area. Sardinia has capitulated. Totally forgot they were Entente. So at this stage, is the Entente basically just Canada? No. Of course, they have India, and they have Iceland. They can't possibly lose. They've lost 6 million, inflicted 2.7 million. They've definitely taken the bad way around it. Things haven't quite gone in their favour. You. Ah, another cruiser. Excellent. So you go join that. And now I can stop building cruisers. In fact, you know what? I'm going to start building an advanced heavy. So we want this to be really fast. We want it to have decent radar. We want this to have fire control. AA. This ship is going to be primarily about killing screens. Because I've already got the big ships to kill big ships. This actually makes it cheaper. Why is that? It's because it's using the cruiser armor. Why want this to be Panzerschiff armor? Panzerschiff armor is cheaper and it goes up to 40 armor. Makes it cheaper because you're switching from the Panzerschiff scheme to the cruiser scheme, but I'm not. This is the cruiser. That's what it is right now. Production cost plus 10. This is a production cost plus 7.